Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, viewers, supporters of this channel of mine, Khalid Muhammad Ariff. Before I go on, I like to implore every Muslim brothers and sisters of mine anywhere in the world, please do not watch this video if you are already in the mosque for the Friday prayer khutbah or attending any religious lessons. Thank you very much. Love you for that. Wish all of us Jannatul Na'im, at least. All right, we are now in the final slide, yeah, in the final video, as far as our endeavor to share ISO 14001 version 2015, the implementation, whereby I have shared with you the most important part in the implementation of ISO 14001, which is the evaluation aspects, impact evaluation. How would we determine significant environmental aspects from our activities, processes, and products to help our company determine what to prioritize in their environmental management system in the erection or in the construction of our environmental management system ISO 14001 version 2015 in view of certification. Congratulations if you have followed me this far as ISO 14001 is concerned. Now this video, I want to make it simple, I want to make it clear. This is how we should move forward. We have done the evaluation, we have got the array of environmental aspects and registered in the aspect impact registered tabulation, which I call the dashboard. Okay, so it's done. Now, what to do next is to set our objective, target, and environmental management program as our planning actions to achieve what our intended outcome. Right, simple. So let's move on. This is let us recap as usual. Apparently, I have got to do this ritual in all the slides, but I'll keep it short. Now, please remember that environmental management system is about managing environmental aspects. And environmental aspects are elements of our organization's activities, services, and products that interact or can interact with the environment. I hope that is clear. And we are managing these environmental aspects. Why? To ensure that its consequent or subsequent environmental impact is minimized, is reduced, if not what you call eliminated. That's the reason. The main purpose of environmental management system is to view the final part of the life cycle perspective of our environmental aspects in both ends, upstream and downstream. Upstream could lead to environmental impacts such as resource depletion, acute climate change, global warming, etc. Okay, downstream could lead to same environmental aspects or air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, groundwater pollution, groundwater deviation, etc. So this life cycle perspective would be, at the upper end or lower end is where the environmental impact finally is. Our purpose to have this environmental management system is to avoid, if not eliminated, the occurrence of such environmental impact due to our products, activities, and services. Got it? So there you are. This is explained before, isn't it? So we are here, intended outcome, and I'm going to show you how we do this. This is the heart of the system, actually. Objective, targets, and EMP. I would say the hearts and also the executive level of the system getting it done. Okay, if this is missing, the downstream will have things which is full of gaps and loopholes. Okay, now let us go on. We have over here the discussions which I have published in earlier videos with respect to this particular activity. I do not change the activities so that you are able to follow diesel transfer activity, and we have chosen three environmental aspects for discussion, running them through identical evaluation criteria. Please follow that. Please browse through. Take your time to understand, comprehend, apprehend, and don't make mistake if you already have this. Okay, and mistakes would be costly in terms of man hour for a company, and even for yourself. You got your work backlog. Remember, we are all doing multitasking, so we got to be very good and efficient in our work. Now, these are all earlier videos. Now, this is the dashboard. If you could recall this, if you are new in this channel, I'm sorry, my friend, you got to look at our earlier videos in order for you to be able to comprehend what we are doing. Okay, please do not rush into learning. Take your time and learn and do it well. Okay, so I have shared the best that I could. It could be my best. I did my best, but my best might not be enough. Okay, I'm not a singer. I can't sing actually, but I love the song because it is inspiring everybody to do, at a continual improvement. Okay, so in our dashboard we have here, so I pick one, I believe only one, because after, remember this, after we have done this environmental aspects identification, evaluation, we know the score, we know which are more significant. Now when we talk about which is more significant, now please remember this, I've forgotten to talk about this in earlier videos. Once you have this, it is the luxury of discretion of your top management, of your steering committee. In other words, you determine which score from which figure to which figure is significant, or figures above what numbers, what numeric significant. ISO is quiet. You got the luxury to determine that, but make sure get it documented. How? Minutes of meeting with your top manager. Got it? So you determine what is significant. Yes, this is voluntarily what they call certification, isn't it? So you have the luxury. ISO give you a system, a principle, what you need to have. You do it using those principles to develop your own customized environmental management system for your company, nonetheless qualified for ISO 14001 certification. There you are. So for the environmental policy, after you have all this, 3,000 perhaps number of environmental aspects. In some instances, some of our clients top what 25,000 environmental aspects, but of course some of them are redundant. For example, smoke emission. It could be smoke emission from a bar bender, and a smoke emission from the genset in one company, and another company smoke emission from what do you call it, auto blast machine. Another is the same company having genset, smoke emission from genset, smoke emission from incinerator, burner, sorry, burner actually. All right, so they have all these different types of field burning equipment, and they have got smoke emission. So it could be smoke emission from different areas, different activities, different unit processes from the same company. Do we merge them? Please, no. Those smoke emissions or those environmental aspects, they might sound the same, but they come from different combustion stoichiometry, different processes, different equipment, different unit processes. Be careful. Do not merge them up. Now, then we work out our environmental policy and start to plan. This is where we move forward. Without this, we can't move forward. The ISO says planning to achieve, and it consists of or comprises of, there you are, objective, okay, EMP, environmental management program. Of course, after objective, we determine most specific objective, which is environmental targets, and then start to devise how, who, when, do what, and how in a form of environmental management program to arrive at our intended, which must consist of, look, our intended outcome must consist of endeavor to improve our environmental performance and compliance obligation, fulfill and achieve our. I believe if you have followed all these videos, this is vivid, okay, by now, very clear and understandable within your respective comprehension. I don't have to linger here for too long. Now is the time for us to get to work. The work has just begun. Look, once you have done aspects, impact, evaluation, it consists of identification, evaluation, and then determining significant impact. That process is literally not less than 60% of the tediousness, meticulousness of the work. It is not difficult, but it's a lot of environmental aspects that you got to take into account and deal with. So it's meticulous. But that is done, 70% of the implementation endeavor for your environmental management system is done. Now is the time to go forward. So I picked for you one environmental aspect only, and you can work this further based on this example, and I believe you are able to do much better than this. But remember, we got to pick our environmental significant environmental aspects. That is how we drive the system. Okay, so one of the significant that is dirty spill kit. This is our significant environmental aspects. And look, I didn't share with you this. When we do environmental aspect identification, because many of you might get pissed off. But this old man did it successfully. That is why I'm saying our environmental management system is bulletproof. Certification bodies who, if they come to look for, they have got a mindset to look for NCs, they get frustrated. And for that, I'm not so popular with most of these auditors. Anyway, I don't want to make myself popular. This is how I normalized the data for my environmental aspects. In this case, the business is, in this case, this company is paying the company, the supplier company, by the number of what they call volume of diesel per tank. And we can also, normalize this data number of dirty spill kit, for example, in terms of weight, 5 kilogram per transfer, meaning every diesel transfer that occur, that takes place in this factory, when that supplier came with that tanker lorry unloading diesel, by the time they finish and by the time the spillage is managed, they get around 5 kilograms of dirty spill kit for every transfer of diesel. Actually, it's more, but, just for the sake of discussion. So this will be the basis, or the benchmark rather, or the stepping stone, or the starting block of our EMS. In this case, dirty spill kit. So what we do, we start to have to develop our environmental objective. And for this company, they've got a wide, a holistic objective, which is to reduce spillage of material resources. They, well, for our discussion's sake, I don't mention company names. This company is unloading a lot of raw materials. Many of them are in powder form, resins, okay, pigments in powder form. And when they do unloading, they use that sort of jigger thing, the hook, etc. And some of the materials are what they call torn open, and some others were unloaded into their what they call overhead silos with a connecting dust collector. And they've got a hopper for that. And there are still some leakage from this area, and it's very dusty. The integrity of those dust collector, those chute system, those some of them using screw conveyor, some using passive pressure pumps, not good enough. They lost a lot of material. And let me tell you, today they almost not lose any raw materials today, which is like 9 years later, 12 years later after certification. And they began all this way back in the early 2000s. So there's continual, okay, improvement, and they did it. Then come to the intended outcome. We got to ask ourselves, the company got to ask, what do they want? So this is actually environmental target. I should write that environmental target for this training, but for them to use this word, intended outcome. Yeah, just to make those external auditors happy, because some of the auditors from certification bodies wants to use the word of the standard. For us, we use the word of the standard as a guide, but the bulk of it is understanding and empathy and feeling and environmental management, not necessarily being a parrot. I'm sorry, some auditors are like that. Ironic, isn't it? So, to reduce what? Spill kit. What? Usage of spill kit from 5 kilogram per transfer to by, there you are. You can call it target. In my regime, I call it target in those days. All right, and last 3 years, they emailed me and said that they got an observation because of the use of the word target. The certification body auditors wanted them to use the word intended outcome. I said, what? Don't you understand English? Don't you do comprehension? In your literature, whatever language you're learning, when we do comprehension, when we do abstracts, preambles, do we have to use the same word, the same term? Come on. Ironic, isn't it? So that's what happened, but doesn't matter. I don't blame. Now, I'm not going to talk about languages, all right? I'm talking about our comprehension and some of the backdated or what they call, I would say, uh, backpedaling mindset. So we got to move forward. All right. So that's how the understanding is. If you are confronting certification body auditors, okay, but well, no issue. Get into the soup. Okay. Now, probable actions planning to achieve, these are your EMP. Actually, this is the environmental management. Wow, I can write much better than before. Okay, there you are. Bravo. EMP, this is Environmental Management Program. So, do we implement everything one go, one shot? No. What we do is to check to all these people whether they can, you know, give us some input. It is their input which is important for us to consider when we want to develop SOPs. This is how I do it. Questionnaire. We want the feedback. And after we got those feedback, what we do is we review what existing SOPs and WRS. What is WRS? Work instruction sheets, if any. In my case, I'd rather have WRS. That is more specific. SOP, a unit process focal. Okay. Once that is done, we start to implement and test the implementation. Okay. Maybe we do program, not yet start doing the change. You know, this is partly, I wouldn't say partly, this is a part of management of change. If you do management, if you do MBAs, or if you do any ISO and environmental management system, any other management system, I think you know management of change. You got to do this, otherwise your management of change fail mostly. Experience. All right. Some of you have had this experience. You know what I'm talking about. So test what? By running a program campaign, awareness on the job. I don't do this anymore. It is tiring for the brain. When I do ISO 14001 and look into all these problems, I tend to have slight difficulty to sleep at night. I'm thinking about it, but when I'm too tired, I was still able to sleep. But in the daytime, even in breakfast, I have that, folders always open until we have done the job. Then the folder closes, and then I would have more relief. So, look. Once it is done, we got to look for some indicator whether it is working and it is going to work, for how long, is the infrastructure, the manpower, the facilities, the machines that we have is going to welcome our new SOPs. And of course, there is an initial stage of infatuation, adjustment, orientation. Yes, there will, that we would expect some hiccups there, but eventually it will stabilize. Doesn't matter, that is normal. But we want to keep, if the new SOP works well, as we got to review them over and over, after this, then we keep it that way. And these colleagues of ours, our workers, whoever they are, would be acquainted with the new, literally new norm. Just like the new norm of the COVID today, well, I'm in the house, so I don't wear my face mask. Okay? So we got to get acquainted. This is called management of change. And this COVID-19, new SOPs, the whole world feel it. Eventually, everybody is wearing face masks and they accept it with a lot of resistance. First time, right? Same thing with ISO 14001. Renewed SOP. There will be some resistance. There will be some time, phase of time to cool down, to orientate, and to get acquainted and to accept the new SOP as much as we have accepted the face mask, sanitizer, distancing, social distancing, etc., social bubbles, you name it, non-border crossings. And for us right now, no Hari Raya Idul Fitri for this year 2021, second consecutive years. So, but I do this video. That's how I enjoy my life. Okay. I hope this is adequate for your comprehension. Okay. Right, I believe that is about it at this point of time that I would share ISO 14001 with you. And in the next video, I am going to focus about environmental compliance of our buddies, our associates in the construction industry. And the important thing why I do this is to discuss on best management practices. Okay, YouTube, thank you very much. Subscribers, viewers, and supporters of this channel, thank you too. And for those of you who have repeated my channel but not yet subscribed, please clear your conscience. Do subscribe. Support me as much as I have sincerely supported you in this video. All right, so until we meet in the next video, as a Muslim, I wish everybody Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.